Welcome. Hello. Welcome to Wordiology, the channel which I created to investigate together with you the roots of the words, their genealogy, just like normal people's genealogy. It's a very interesting project and it's a very interesting theme. This channel will be extremely interesting for philologists, linguists, polyglots, and anybody who is fond of languages, who learn them just for fun, or want to travel with them worldwide. Okay, so let's start. And once I decided to start the very first video that I'm creating today, I decided to start it from the word create. Once I created the channel, let's start from this symbolic word create. Okay, we know that where did this word come into English? Well, actually, this is a very interesting word. You know that in Wikipedia they say, oh sorry, not in Wikipedia, but in Merriam-Webster dictionary, they say that this word comes from the Latin creatus or creare, or something like that. And it really looks like that. Maybe it really came from that. But well, let's first try to understand what the original word could sound like. And we go to its first root and we come to cre. This is like, intermediate note. I decided to make it just to get a chance if the Latin variant of the word can be different. Okay, let's try to find it. Okay, so, and we're gonna find it in the Latin creo. Okay, creo. So creo. What is creo? With the meaning to create something, to make something, to build something. Actually, something creative, right? It was present in the Latin language, and a lot of so-called Roman languages just inherited this word, and that is why we see that in Portuguese it will be like criar, or something. Crea in Romanian. Those who don't know that Romanian, well, actually, from its name, it is already seen that it's from the Romanian group of languages. Crear, this is like crear, Spanish, and creare, Italian, and créer, French. Actually, well, not all of the live Roman languages are represented here in this list, but we see that they actually sound almost the same. So, but you know that can it be so that English create came from this, from creo directly, from creatus, as it is written in the Merriam-Webster dictionary? Well, it's hard to say. Let's first to understand cre, the word cre. Like I'm making this like a root. If I'm wrong, you can write down in the section below, comment section, because it's just a very intuitive investigation. I'm gonna tell you that I'm not a professional linguist. I'm not a professional philologist or anything. I'm just like you, just like most of you. I think I'm just an enthusiast who wants to find the roots of different words. Well, we should understand, could this word come into Latin from anywhere else? Or was it a original Latin word? It's a very interesting question. And we see that there's like cor. It's a very interesting root word. And let's try to find it. What do you think about, so like there's a word like roor, and there's a word like cor. It's the root. And this root is widespread, very widespread in the Turkic languages. I think that in all of them, this word is present, and it has almost the same meaning, like in such words like, for example, khur. Khur in Turkic means create something, create and make something, build something with the same meaning. And that is why, of course, there are many words that may have come from that word. For example, Quran. Well, actually, this Quran might have also come from another root, like because there's another word like qor. Qor, not qur. Qur is to create something, to make. But there is another word like qor. Qor is to defend, to guard, to save, and so on. You know that, for example, Quran, Quran can mean a building in the Turkic language, in the Turkic languages. But for example, there's a word like Korgan. This is a Kazakh word. There are actually very similar equivalents of these words are present in the other Turkic languages. But here, Korgan means it may come from the root qur, like create something, but it also might have come from another word like qor, to defend. It's a hard word because, for example, what does it mean in Kazakh? In Kazakh, it means it's a castle, actually. Castle, but a castle is a thing which can be built, right? So it's a building. Castle is a building. But at the same very time, it can also be like korgao. It's a word that could mean to defend, to guard. So it's, I'm at a bench. Actually, I don't know. But let's first think, my first theory is that these words, Qur'an, could just originate from the word Qur'an. Qur'an, from Qur'an, but in the meaning of a building, not in the meaning of a castle and a defensive building, which is just a building, just a construction, and so on. But we will discuss it later. I think it's a very disputed question, of course. What other words there are? For example, we know that this qur also. So we are widening this question because look, there's another root like ghur, and ghur. For example, in Russian, there is such word like agarod, which means a vegetable garden, And Well, gor. We see the root here. Gor means like a fence, because you know that gardens are usually fenced by something, but by a fence, actually, in order to prevent other people or other animals, anyway, whatever, from coming into it and from destroying the plants or something. That is why. And also, we see that from that word could have come another word. For example, gorot. Gorot also has the same meaning as gorot. We see the root is gur here. So it also, you know that gorot is a Russian word and the Ukrainian word, and it is actually this Eastern Slavic root, gorod, because another word very similar to that is the South Slavic word like grad. You know that South Slavic peoples, they have this grad. It's like a gorod, so it's just a dialectal word. For example, Belgrade, you know that Belgrade means white city, white town. Here I wrote it as a Bulgarian because this word must have come from the Bulgarian, because a lot of Bulgarians were bringing Christianity to Russia, so this word might have come with them. So, you know that French word garde actually is also very, very close to it in the meaning. because guard is to defense. And actually, I think that English garden is coming from this guard, to defend, to defeat. Oh, sorry, not to defeat, to protect, to save. And of course, so I'm talking, as I already mentioned, the garden, English garden, and guard. English guard is to protect, to defend. So it's coming from this French word. Well, this is a very another interesting variant is gurt. Gurt is like gert, like yard. Older variant of yard is also a territory fenced by something. So it's very interesting that these are Romanian and words, or Germanic words, and they may have a very, very, I'd say, clear connection with other roots in other languages. Okay, this was a very short video. Of course, this subject is a very wide subject, and we should discuss and discuss. For example, we know that this Russian word like kurin might have also come from the same word, but in the Russian Wikipedia it says that kurin comes from one of the Turkic dialects called the Chagatai dialect. And that word sounded like Quran or something, with the meaning of a castle as well, but not only a castle, but also a group of people or a family or something. But I'd say anyways that this qur, this also can be like a root word, a very relative word to another English word like group, the group and kurin. So this is a very wide and interesting subject to learn. That's why I'm welcoming you to investigate it all together. Because the modern linguistics, I think it is in a great crisis, because everything you read out from these so-called group books are either hard to read, or they are just wrong sometimes. There are just few books that you can really enjoy and understand something from. And in most cases, philology being relatively, or seeming a relatively simpler thing, but anyway, it's becoming very hard with people who just make it even harder, because they make wrong theories, make misconceptions that affect them. For example, one of the misconceptions is that there was a group of people called Indo-Europeans. Well, this is a very great subject to discuss, actually. Were such a group, or they weren't? We don't know, actually. We should investigate it from videos like this. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.